Hey, what's up? I'm the Kind Assassin, and today I'll be talking about episode 7 of The Acolyte called Choice. And in this episode, we finally find out what really happened on Brendok, which is really sad and tragic, and really everything happened because of bad choices made by the Jedi and the witches that were all based on emotion and really miscommunication and very little information. So it's really sad. It could have all been prevented, but it happened, and it brings us to where we are in the show. The Jedi, Sol, Indara, Torben, and Kolnaka are on Brendok trying to investigate whether there's a vergence.
What's a vergence?
A concentration of force energy centered around a location.
A vergence could create life.
And Torben is disenchanted with this mission. He wants to just go home. Everyone else is just kind of doing their job there. And Sol comes across May and Osha at the tree, and he sees them walking and reciting their poem to each other and sees them interact with Mother Coral. And based on this minimal amount of time that he's seen the twins, he makes a decision to save them or help them in some way. He asks Indara for them all to go and figure out what's going on, but Indara wants to wait. She's a little bit more cool-tempered, and she's a little bit less emotional, so she wants to talk to the Jedi Council and see what they say. They come back and say, no, they're too old to be brought into the Jedi to train them. They just need to be left alone. Don't intervene. You keep doing your work and just forget anything that you saw, which is just a very logical, outcome of this, these questions that were asked of the council. But Sol refuses to accept them. He goes to the coven, investigates more, and sees more interactions between the twins and the other witches, misinterprets what he sees, and based on that misinterpretation, makes a decision to kind of keep pushing the issue with Indara. So this is when we see Indara finally give in, and they all go to the coven to confront the witches. So this is a scene that we've seen previously. I believe it was episode 3. And in this scene, we see the power of Mother Anissa. She goes into Torben's mind. And really manipulates him, gets some information from him. And, they decide, okay, fine, we're going to test the twins. So the test happens. Sol kind of manipulates Osha a little bit. He kind of guides her to answers, and he calls it, she passed the test, where Indara's like, you kind of interfered with it.
Let me talk to the council.
They've already made their decision, Sol.
But Osha passed.
After you coached her.
But he keeps being stubborn and is like, she wants to be a Jedi, we need to go get her. Again, the council is like, no, don't do anything. And Sol's like, we have to. And at this point, the test results of the twins come back, and it's discovered that they're actually not twins. They're kind of like the same exact, they're just one person within two bodies. And this makes everyone suspicious, what's going on. And this is proof that, Torben interprets that this is proof that there's a vergence. And this is the proof that they need for the Jedi Council to let them go back to Coruscant, because he just wants to go back. So he rushes off to the coven. Sol chases him, Indara and Kanakal chase them. And they're just all making these very rash decisions based on, again, very little information or misinformation. And it keeps pushing to the climax of, everyone ends up dying at the coven. So Sol and Torben confront the mothers, and at this point, May and Osha are also fighting with each other, as we saw in episode 3. And we come to find out that May actually just accidentally set the fire. She wasn't purposely trying to destroy everything. Although we also find out that Mother Coral did manipulate May's anger.
You want to stop Osha from leaving? Then stop her.
And cause her to make some emotional decisions based on kind of Osha wanting to leave and Coral like instigating even more.
Good girl. Get mad.
So again, it's just really sad to think that these two kids have been manipulated their whole lives by at first the coven, telling them that they're like the future of the coven and, you know, they have to, you know, fulfill whatever destiny they are supposedly have. Manipulated by the Jedi, manipulated by each other too, right? Because of this poem they recite to each other, they're almost becoming like codependent on each other too. So they really just didn't have a chance to ever really be kids. Anyways, so all of this is coming to a head. You know, Sol and Torben are there confronting Mother Nisha, Mother Cole. May runs out because she needs help with the fire, but Sol sees her, thinks it's Osha, and thinks it's Osha saying, "Help me," which further confirms his assumption that Osha needs help and it's his job to save her. And at this moment, Mother Anissa transforms into dust and is trying to envelop May to, I think, probably escape from that situation. But Sol misinterprets this, kills Mother Anissa, which is really shocking to me because, you know, he wasn't being attacked. And I thought the Jedi have this code of honor, like you're not supposed to just go willy-nilly killing people, right? You're supposed to maybe defend yourself and defend others. Or maybe he thought he was saving Osha, so that's why it was okay to kill her. I don't know. It just seemed like a very, like an emotional choice and really uncalled for, kind of like too much. I don't know. But, you know, she ends up dying. And, you know, before Mother Anissa dies, she does say,
Someday those noble intentions you all have will destroy every Jedi in the galaxy.
and really it's, you know, a premonition or allusion to what's going to happen down the road, right? When the Jedi are actually destroyed. And really, you know, this code of honor they have, or this, you know, these noble ideas or intentions really do destroy a lot of people's lives because the entire coven ends up dying in this episode. You know, now that Mother Anissa's dead and May runs to her and looks up at Sol, he sees that she has this, you know, the scar and realizes it's May and not Osha. So he's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Mother Coral at this point is like, it's all out war now. So she goes with the other witches, and at this point, they control Kelnaka, who has just arrived. And it's a really great scene of Kelnaka fighting Sol and Torben, and you know, all these lightsabers. It's really, you know, fun scene to watch. Indara comes in then and, you know, tries to save Kelnaka, like take back control of his mind. And in doing so, she ends up killing all the witches. It was never really addressed after that. Like, no character mentioned, like, fucking Indara, you killed everybody, right? I mean, it was just a weird outcome. Like, yeah, she was trying to save Kelnaka and save Sol and Torben from Kelnaka's attack. Did she know she was doing this to the witches? You know, was it intentional? Was it an accident? There was never even any conversation about it at the end. But they all died because of her. And I guess ultimately because of Sol too, right? Like, all of it was just fucked up. So then she tells Sol, go save the twins. He runs, he sees them, everything's falling apart. And he decides to save Osha. Could he have saved both of them? Who knows? But he saves Osha, right? Another choice. They go back to the ship, and Indara and Sol are like kind of arguing, and she's like, look what you've done. And he's like, you're right, let's confess. And then Indara is like, no, we can't because of Osha. So now that's another questionable decision, I think, because basically this whole entire situation, every decision is not only emotional, but all the choices made are really out of self-interest, disguised as for, you know, the greater good. right? So Indara's like, no, we can't tell the truth because in Osha, it's going to be asked out, right? She lost everything. The Jedi are going to reject her. She's going to be a loner. And, you know, we have to at least let her be a Jedi, which was what her dream was. So they decide to cover it all up. And that's really where this, you know, the episode ends. So really just a messed up situation. Didn't need to happen. You know, Sol really was the instigator of it all. And, you know, Torben was also there with him because of his desires to go home and whatever insecurity he was feeling or anger he was feeling because he was stuck on that planet. But then Mother Nisa also maybe took it too far by mind controlling Torben and manipulating him. But I don't know, everything just culminated to a terrible tragedy. And that's where we left off. So I really liked it, you know, because it was some good fighting scenes. And just really sad, you know, tragic story. I would have loved to see more of Mother Anissa because she seems so powerful. And, you know, that coven, you know, I would have loved to like learn more about them. How was May and Osha created? What is this Virgins? And again, still, how does Kimir know everything, right? And the whole season so far, like he keeps like saying little things to May and Osha and Sol, like he knows what happened. Like, how does he know everything? Maybe May told him at some point. I don't know. But anyway, so really good episode. Now we're on our way to the last episode, episode 8, and we'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. All right. Later.